applications and continuing education courses. She also oversees the knowledge management of Shalva's clients and programs for the purposes of tracking rehabilitative progress, evaluation and research. Leon heads Shalva's internal scientific committee, which aims to develop Shalva's research, collaboration, and program development. She was recently appointed research coordinator at Hebrew University for projects concerning the implementation of government and social policies on inclusive education. And Laurent was awarded the Hebrew University's Outstanding Research Scholarship for her doctoral studies on perceptions of disability and the experience of parents. Please welcome Laurent.
You said so many good things about me that I consider letting you stay here. My name is Liron Benisti, as was said. It's a pleasure to be here today. I am the Director of Programming, Research and Development at Shalva, and I'm excited to introduce you to the Shalva Institute, which is the Shalva's educational branch. So, let's start. So the Shalva Institute has three focus areas: sharing of knowledge, training, professional development, and consultation, and research and project collaboration. Everything at the Shalva Institute is based on the experience and expertise gained through Shalva's program. So, the first program that I'll share with you is Me and My Mommy, which is an early intervention care from birth through 18 months. Parents bring their babies with disabilities to Shalva one day every week for a day of therapies and professional support. Physiotherapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, hydrotherapy, massage treatments, snoozing, which is multi-sensory environment. It's important to say that the parents are active participants in the therapy sessions and are positioned as co-therapists in their child therapy process. In addition, parents have professional support where they learn tools to raise their child in the family framework. I'll show you a short movie. It will explain and show you a day in Me and My Mommy. I just press.
Laughter and smiles. When I'm with you, I'm soaring high and free. When you're in my world, I believe in me. I look into your eyes and see that I can be stronger, I can be braver, I can be anything, anything I wanna be. Oh, anything I wanna be, anything I wanna be. I have the power, I have the courage. I am a hero. Everything I need is inside of me. Is inside of me.
Okay. I think that the movie showed a lot. And after just a second, I came back. Okay, after the children finish participating in Me and My Mommy program, they have a natural continuum at the rehabilitative daycare and preschool. I'm sorry, they told me that I have only 7 minutes left, so I'll speak a little bit faster. I will just explain that the staff of special educators and therapists work together to maximize each child's potential for development. In our preschools, we have both inclusion and reverse inclusion to integrate children with and without disabilities in classroom lessons, in play and therapy sessions. Research in collaboration with Harvard University and Ohio College revealed that the key to a successful inclusion largely depends on the skill set and dedication of the preschool staff that makes the inclusive interaction possible. So, the after-school program, okay? Our preschool graduates continue on to the mainstream school system, and they join us again every day at the after-school and overnight respite program. The after-school program is Shalva's largest program. 300 children at the ages of 6 to 21 years old attend the program on a daily basis after school. The children learn life skills adapted to age and ability. At the respite program, the children sleep over at Shalva's respite center one night every week. There, they learn independent living skills, and just imagine, their parents benefit from a 36-hour respite period to rejuvenate spirits and care for their personal needs, which is very important to the family. Shalva also has programs for adults, ages 21 plus, and our goal, the main goal, is to enable adults with disabilities to lead lives of meaning, dignity, and independence. We have employment and assisted employment, training courses, social programming 3 times a week, integrating in IDF military service, and independent living in the community. I can't skip this short video that shows how special this program is for our adults and their families, and then I'll speak a little bit faster, just to catch the time. So, let's start. So, the Shalva Institute was born from all of our experiences in the rehabilitative programs that you just saw. Shalva has a large and rich knowledge base and unique areas of expertise through over 30 years of pioneering work. It was clear that we have to extend Shalva's impact beyond the confines of our building. the technology-based learning tool, gave us the ability to connect across the globe. As you can see here, we have people studying in the institute in a course in Zoom. This is the ability that we have to learn from far away. So I'll just mention a few examples of courses developed based on Shalva's programs. Certification in therapeutic massage treatment, as you saw, based on me and my mommy. Training in early childhood inclusion, based on inclusive preschools that we have here. Certification in Snoozland, multisensory environment therapy based on Snoozland therapy in Shalva's program. Our courses are conducted independently and in collaboration with academic institutions. So you can see also a map of places that we give them a consultation around the world. So I will just mention a few collaborations very, very shortly to show things that happen in the Institute. First, I'll mention something that Professor Yossi Shapira will speak about in detail right after me. So the research with the Hebrew University Faculty of Dental Medicine currently concluded a 3-year research project exploring the effectiveness of preventative oral health care for children with disabilities. Okay, and Yossi, we're expecting to hear you later. Another collaboration is between Shalva, Shalem Fund, and Bet Easy Shapiro, which I know that some of the partners are here, and I'm very happy to do this partnership with you. The collaboration is currently in early stages of development. The OHEV program revealed a need for creating an accessible preparation for dental treatment. Did you think about it? A child that has a mental disability goes into the treatment and he doesn't know exactly what's going to happen. So we are developing an accessible animation film to explain the dental clinic and treatment for patients with disabilities. The Shalem Fund connected Shalva and Bet Izi Shapiro in partnership with the Israeli government's Ministry of Social Affairs and Social Services. Wish us luck. Another collaboration is between Shalva, Shalem Fund, and Jerusalem College of Technology. I saw Dr. Adi Finkelstein here, which is one of the researchers. I just want to explain a little bit, the special educators here at Shalva are a key component at the OHEV program. The parents are not here during the day. So the responsibility of the special educators include assisting teeth brushing for the children individually on a daily basis, including educational activities about oral health in their curriculum, escorting the children regularly to the OHEV dental clinic. It's something that usually the parents do, but here the special educators do. So the research project for nursing students explored the impact of the OHEV program on the special educators. And the results revealed that the in-classroom component of the OHEV program is critical to the success of the program in improving the oral health of children with disabilities. Positive responses of the children in both the dental checkups and in the daily teeth brushing relied heavily on the intervention of the special educators. They used mirrors, they used visual aids to mediate the children's experience, which is very, very important. These special educators also played an important role in enforcing parent involvement. So the credit is to Shalva's amazing staff and our research partner from the Jerusalem College of Technology and Shalem Fund, which you can see here the names. Thank you. I will skip this one. And I will speak about the last collaboration for today, which is between Shalva, the Israeli Dental Hygiene Association, and Sensory. 20 dental hygienists were chosen to receive training at Shalva's OHEV clinic in treating patients with disabilities. The training includes theory and practicum components to understand the complexities and treatment methods involved in providing oral health care to individuals with disabilities. How important it is for a person with disability to go into the clinic and to find somebody that understands his needs. Inclusive Dental Hygienist Badge, awarded to certified professionals and hiring clinics with a conclusion of training. So, I'm finished. I wanted to thank you for listening so nicely and wish luck to all the people that do such a beautiful work here in Israel and around the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laron. You are doing amazing work. I'm so jealous that we don't have programs like this in the States. So next we are going to hear from Professor Joseph Shapira. He is Professor Emeritus in Pediatric Dentistry at Hebrew University and the former chairman of the Department of Pediatric Dentistry from 2002 to 2014. Following his graduation from Hebrew University, he had specialized at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, University of Pennsylvania for a 2-year residency program in pediatric dentistry with an emphasis on dentistry for special needs and high-risk medically compromised patients. Professor Shapira has dedicated his professional life to education, research, and treatment of children with special needs. He has published more than 100 articles in international journals and has been lecturing on the subject around the world. At present, Professor Shapira is the director of the prevention program for oral health at Shalva, works in a private clinic in Tel Aviv, and volunteers for various activities in the Department of Pediatric Dentistry at the Hadassah Dental School, which he still considers his second home.
Good afternoon, dear friends, colleagues, and guests. It's my pleasure and honor to see you all here. I can't see you, it's like it's leg all over. And I want to see you today at Shalva. Please touch. Okay? This motto that you see accompanied me throughout my professional years while teaching residents and students, and we taught them that we treat children, a child with teeth, rather than teeth that are connected to a child. Or in other words, we take care of warm, living and breathing human beings with emotions, anxiety, fears, desires, and disabilities. And the question arises many times, especially among my young audience, is why? Why do you see so many patients, or so many people with disabilities, adults and children around us, in the malls, in the cinemas, in schools, all over? Why did it happen? Is it just an illusion, or this is true? And the answer is yes. Yes, indeed. The number of people with disabilities is rising dramatically around the world, all over. And we see some facts about it. In the United States, in the largest survey that was done in the year of 2000, they found out that 19% of the population in the United States at that time were with disabilities. Almost 50% of them had more than one disability. And if we look on the children, 1 out of 6 children in the United States was diagnosed developmentally disabled. And if we look on autism, we can see that it's rise 600% from the year of 78 until today. And no wonder that today autism is considered in the United States as an epidemic population, affects 2% of the population. And just to be up to date, we can see that from the year of 2000, today in the United States, it's rise 7%. Today, 26% of the population in the United States is with disability. So it's a rise in 7% in 22 years. It's a real rise. And in Israel, according to a survey that was done by the Brookdale Institute at the year of 2017, shows that 20% of the population in Israel are with disabilities, 9% of the children, and if we look on autism, we can see only the data I got is between 2014 to 18, it rise 50%. So what is the reason for that? Is this increasing prevalence of developmental disabilities among children a sign of progress, or maybe regression? Well, 3 trends in our society are responsible for the increase in number of people with disabilities. And first of all is the sophisticated advanced medical care to newborns. Advances in obstetrics, and especially the use of the PICO, the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit, can save today the life of babies born 200 and 300 grams, the size of this fist. Now they can save them, and they grow in development into adulthood, but during that way, 1 or 2 or 3 of their systems were not mature enough, and that is their disability. So they are growing and developing with this kind of disability all their life. And in this sense, Professor Gottlieb from Chicago, a pediatrician from Chicago, said in this sense, the rise in prevalence of developmental disabilities may be seen as a global indicator of progress in children's health and pediatric care. The second trend in our society responsible for the increase in number of people with disability is the normalization and mainstreaming of the people with intellectual disability into our society. People with intellectual disability were used to live years ago, not recent, 20, 25 years ago, in institutions like this. There's a big building here on the left side. Okay. They were used to live in institutions like this, sometimes even surrounded by walls, but then they were moved to group homes into our society. About 80% of those people with intellectual disabilities were moved to group homes where they got conditions of everyday life which are as close as possible to the known patterns of our society. And here at these group homes, they got basic education and all kinds of programs that make them productive into our society. And the third trend in our society responsible for the increase in number of people with disability is the rise in standard of living of our society. Parents of children with developmental disability would like to improve the quality of life of their children again in order to be better accepted in our society. They are looking for high standards of aesthetics and function. They want to be able to take their children to the restaurant and enjoy the food. They are looking for high standards of behavior. Some of these parents come to the clinic with their children, and if they hear that the children are crying, they say, no, we want to go into sedation or general anesthesia. We don't want our children to cry. And some of these parents are highly motivated and concern to provide treatments, especially orthodontics, that will enable them to conform to the standard of appearance and social acceptance in our society. And the following is an example. This 12-year-old girl with severe intellectual disability came to me accompanied by her parents, wishing me maybe to improve her appearance, because they said, look at her, look at her teeth, look at her tongue, drooling all over her clothes. Can you do something, because we are going to the playground and other people are nodding with their fingers on her. In addition, she is a quadriplegic. We couldn't speak, no ability to communicate. Her tongue was protruding, and she had oral pain and feeding problems. So at the first appointment, I communicated with this child with a lot of empathy, smile, voice control, a lot of empathy, and then I did a thorough examination, and accordingly, I called my two colleagues and friends, Professor Chausho, she is here, with Professor Becker, both of them orthodontists, and we looked at the child, they looked at the child and they said, it's okay, you can start, we can do orthodontics, but in one condition, if all hygiene will be better than today. So they came after 6 weeks and all hygiene was excellent. So we proceed, and I'm going to do the story short. I'm going directly to the 9 months after treatment, after 7 appointments, and this will the result after 9 months. And in summary, we can see that working together as a team, Professor Adrian Becker, that was the head of orthodontics for special needs at the time, Professor Chausho, that she's here, and myself, we were working together as a team all over for many cases that we did together as a team with working all together in the same room, on the same chair, and going together also to the operating room. So a comprehensive multidisciplinary team changes the appearance and function of this girl and provided her with a better quality of life. In recent years, the blessed marriage between medicine and dentistry has completely changed the nature of dentistry, especially concerning diagnosis, rehabilitation, the use of analgesics, the use of sedatives. But most of all, dentistry has finally learned from medicine the importance of prevention. It is better to prevent illness than to treat, and we saw our experience with our experience the COVID in the last 3 years. So it's better to prevent illness than to treat it. Prevention is easier, cheaper, and painless. But it is especially true concerning the population of children and adults with disabilities in Israel. Because according to a national survey that I did with my two friends, Dr. Efrat and Professor Mann, at that time, we found out poor oral hygiene and poor oral health and oral hygiene, more untreated caries, more missing teeth, higher prevalence of gingivitis, periodontal disease, and more difficulty to obtain dental care. And we concluded that they are the most underserved and are the underserved in our society. But I must admit that things have been changed for the better since then. The Ministry of Welfare accepted immediately our two recommendations. One, to appoint a dental hygienist to have a central role in all the clinics for special needs scattered around Israel. And secondly, to appoint a dental advisor to the Ministry of Welfare. And you just heard a few hours ago that Dr. Ilan was speaking to you. Is one, I think is the fourth one, when we started that at the 1998, if I'm not mistaken. So here's the fourth one. And things have changed. And days after I retired from Hadassah, from my chairmanship at Hadassah, I got a phone call from Kalman, from dear Kalman, that is here somewhere in the dark. He told me, Yossi, I would like you to come to Shalva to open a clinic especially for the children for special needs in Shalva. I expressed my opinion that it's we have, in about 5 minutes drive from Shalva, we have the best and excellent department of pediatric dentistry with a clinic for children and for children with special needs, for children with all kinds of problems, with medically compromised children, and it's a waste of money to invest in building of a new hospital here at Shalva. It's a really very expensive to drive. You have to have anesthetist, you have to go with OR anesthetist and all kinds of recovery room. It's a waste because you have 5 minutes from here at Hadassah. So I was advised, and we together decided that it will be our initiative and aim and mission to raise the awareness and attitude for instilling the good oral health care for the children in Shalva, rather than implementing treatments for the children in Shalva. So we created the solution. Our pioneering programs offer two main things. First of all is the preventative dental medicine, and secondly, the educational and behavioral change. We wanted to improve the oral health of the children and make them habits for long-term health. We systematically integrate the oral health routines into developmental programs that they have. You heard a lot from Yaron earlier. Many developmental programs. We wanted to put the oral health program routines into these programs in order also to improve the oral health of these children at Shalva. The participants were the age of 0 to 21, and you were the Me and My Mommy program that I'm going to speak about in 2 words later. Every disability category and free of charge, all of them were involved in this program. So if we looked on our program, it focuses on 3 arenas. First of all is the core program model, which is for about 120 children that divided between the nursery and the kindergarten. The second, that I'm going to speak about it in 1 minute. The second arena was the Me and My Mommy program that we were involved also, that we, the dental team, gave them a seminar session once a month to about 25 to 30 mothers sitting in a circle with their eyes wide open, listening to our seminar. We were speaking about dental milestones like teething, feeding habits, healthy nutrition. We insist on less sugar and oral hygiene routines. And the third arena was the after school activity recreational program for 7 to 21 years old children. They came over to Shalva, and our input was the instruction of the refreshment of the instructed oral hygiene of them, and I did an oral examination and a fluoride varnish for all of them that they got permission to do it. So the core program, as I told you before, it's for the 120 children, aged 1 to 6 years old, and it comprises of 5 components. The first one is the educational program, the teaching in the classroom. Our dental hygienist that you see her face here, this is the right side, this is Bina. She gave all the seminar, the group homes and modeling for all the children. They taught her proper health brushing, oral hygiene, with all kinds of models and group games. The second one is a hands-on presentation of oral hygiene skills. So she did for each one, for dental hygienist, works with each one of the children in order to map out each child's dental difficulties and to challenge them in order to give each one of them the best of oral hygiene. We even were ready to accommodate to each child dental needs, to create homemade assistive tools for the prolonged mouth opening using the sterilized rubber door shop. We offered all the people who need paste, toothpaste with various flavors, and we even were ready to construct a toothbrush with atypical width and length to improve in those that need glue to improve their dexterity and, if needed, limited mobility. If you come, you came late today, you ate breakfast here, but at 9:30, every day if you come to Shaba, you find this kind of pictures right after breakfast in all the nursery and kindergarten here at Shaba at 9:30 about the time, all brushing all over. It's a festive of brushing all over Shaba. I'll do my best. Third thing is the therapist education. We teach the therapists themselves how to practice, and I told you before, how to implement the oral health practice routines into the classroom within the daily schedule of these children. The children receive quarterly, every 3 months, they got application of varnish fluoride. We discussed once a year with the parents also the importance of developing healthy oral hygiene, especially to do it at home. The habit to do it at home, it's their responsibility. But parallel to this educational program that just described to you in short words and hurry up. So in parallel with that, we did we did the research in order to see the effectiveness of this program in the order we recorded all our data in the last 3 years. And we did it where we recorded the number and size of cavities. We took the level of plaque of all the children, the quality, we checked the quality of brushing and health of the gums. Also, all parents filled out a questionnaire to assess the oral health parameters, and the dental needs of each examiner were given to the child, each child and parents at the same day. Also, this feature was approved by the Helsinki Committee of the Hadassah and the Hebrew University with the help of Dr. Davidovich of the Department of Pediatric Dentistry. The main findings of the research: 1, increased awareness to the need of daily toothbrushing by all the people involved, all the people in Shaba involved in this program, the parents, professional staff, and the children themselves. The longer they stay in Shaba, the awareness increased. Secondly, parent survey. According to the parent survey, we found out that the percentage of children who brush independently at home has increased. In the first year, it was 5%, 8% in the second, and 15% in the third year. Of course, you have to take into possible reasons for that is the awareness of all the people involved in this program, and secondly, increase in the motor skills of the children, their cognition as they mature. Just to give you an update of this article published in the United States of among 300 parents of children with Down's patients, that 50%, according to the parent, 50% of the children's teeth were not brushed every day, and 30% they brush only 4 times a week. So it's a real problem with the parents, and we can't blame them. Thirdly, we found improved health of the gums. As the age of the children increased, we found out that there was improved in the gums health of the children. Of course, again, we have to give to thanks the daily guidance of the kindergarten teachers and of course of the staff, as well as the guidance of the dental hygienist. The number of severity of the cavities, we found a tendency to the decrease in caries only among children aged 5 and above. Also, you know that's the morbidity and the severity, but those children received intervention for at least 2 years, so maybe the possible reasons are that the fluoride, they got 8 times the fluoride application, so maybe it works. And secondly, the persistence in oral hygiene training that they got for 2 years. And the last one is the number and severity of cavities, but in contrast to the high ages, the 5 and above, here at the ages 1 to 4, we found it in the contrary, in contrast, because many reasons to that. The first one is the parents at this age, they were afraid and refrained from taking the children for the treatment under general anesthesia. Secondly, if they went over to get an appointment, they had to wait for 6 to 12 months in order to get treatment under general anesthesia. And thirdly, this age, of course, these children are less coordinated and completely depend on the parents, and we just saw we cannot rely on the parents every day. In conclusion, the children with special needs require, according to my idea now after these 3 years, that we need a unique clinic with operating rooms specifically designed for children with disability. And secondly, more pediatric dentists should be added to the HMOs, the public clinics in Israel, in order to reduce the waiting times. This is our dental hygienist. She works, Bina, she works very nice all the time, really shoulder to shoulder. Thank you.
Before the next speaker, Rick and David came up to me and said that one thing concrete that we can do is if we can get an agreement from the deans of the dental schools here in Israel to start student chapters, to permit the students to start student chapters of AADMD. It's free, the journal is free to them, but more important, access to virtual grand rounds. So these are medical and dental intercollaborative. And they'll have access to the virtual grand rounds, which has been hosted by the University of Pennsylvania. And Dean Wolf has made an amazing commitment to, and funding through Holly, who's here, to fund the virtual grand rounds and the continuing education courses. And we recently heard that the chief dental officer of Jamaica is making every public health dentist in the country take the Penn course in developmental medicine. So, I'd love to now introduce Dr. Donna Roth, who is the founder and director of Research and Evaluation in the Department of Bet Issi Shapiro Center, a world leader in the field of disability. I became aware of their work 10 years ago when I came to Israel, when the head of the Kennedy Foundation said that's a place that you must visit. And since then, Donna and I have been in touch with all the work that they're doing. Under her leadership, the department has conducted over 100 studies, researches, and evaluations. Her areas of expertise are quality of life, including the family, attitudes and stigma, accessibility, abuse and violence related to disability, self-advocacy, innovative treatment methods and assistive technology, and its impact on the lives of people with disabilities. So similar to everything that we've been trying to do all these years. So thank you, Donna, for coming, for bringing the resources of Bet Issi. And
Unfortunately, I'm not Dr. Dara. She's there. But I promise you that she's right after me. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sharon Defesque-Baron, and I run Belize Shapiro's Global Professional Development Department, which is responsible for the organization's international work and professional network. And since we're running short on time, I'll be very quick. Thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this panel, and with my lovely colleagues, Dr. Danavot and Dr. Shalhav Mahmoud, and to have the opportunity to give you a very short overview of what Belize Shapiro does. So, in a nutshell, Belize Shapiro is one of Israel's leading nonprofit organizations in the field of disabilities. We have an impact on about 500,000 people annually, and for the past some 42 years, we've been working with people with a wide range of disabilities across all ages and across multiple cultures. And we are globally recognized. And in 2012, we were the first Israeli organization to receive, in the disability sector, to receive special consultative status with the United Nations. And we believe that every person with a disability has the right and deserves the opportunity to be fully included in community life. And this vision has been entrenched in everything that we've been doing for the past 4 decades, as well as a beacon that we strive to each and every day. In order to realize this vision, we developed a quite unique organizational strategy. We innovate, we develop, and provide innovative therapeutic and educational models. We then research and evaluate them. You'll hear more about that. And then we scale them up so that people all over Israel and worldwide can benefit as well. And I want to explain this strategy with a short story about how we developed our early intervention center that will kind of give you an idea of how this strategy works. So we opened the first early intervention center in Israel in 1982 and developed a model of work. And we soon realized the incredible need for this service. We had long waiting lists with people moving from across Israel and from overseas to attend. And we decided that we needed to, we're not going to open branches, but we do need to get this model out so that more and more people can enjoy it. And so we developed this model. We researched and evaluated it, and when we were sure that it worked, we, together with the exceptional parliament member, managed to help pass the law in 2000 so that every child under the age of 3 has the right to early intervention services. Today there are over 160 such services across Israel, serving over 4,000 children. And actually Israel has one of the most advanced early intervention services in the world. So again, this model of innovation, so the early intervention was a great example of that. We see that there's a need, we develop a solution, we research it, then we scale it up through 2 main scaling mechanisms, through policy and through training. So there's been a number of models that were developed similarly. For example, we brought the first multi-sensory room to Israel and published the first research on the topic, and then helped scale it up in Israel and internationally. Also, we opened the first hydrotherapy pool. Today there's over 150 across Israel, and we run one of the largest hydrotherapy training facilities in the world. Our inclusive playground model, which looks not just at the physical accessibility, but also at social accessibility, has been scaled to over 40 playgrounds across Israel and internationally, and won the Austrian Zero Project Innovation Award in 2018. Talked a lot about dental clinics today, and you're going to hear even more from Dr. Shalhav very soon. But we opened the first dental clinic in the community for people with disabilities over 3 decades ago, and today there are over 20 such clinics in the community. And because of the incredible opportunities that we see that all of us in technology brings to our lives, and especially to people with disabilities, for participation, which is one of our main goals. And we do a lot of work in this space, focusing on developing models of implementation and training of professionals. We are also firm believers in nothing about us without us, which is why in the past few years we developed a leadership center. You heard us now today, we run the Health Forum, which is one of the leadership groups in the center. And we provide, like I think she mentioned, tools and knowledge and a platform for these people to become activists advocating for themselves, not only in their daily lives, but really working on changing policy and changing legislation. We also strive to not only impact the lives of people with disabilities here in Israel, but also scale our models internationally. And we have partnerships in about 30+ countries, with universities such as the Harvard Law School Project on Disability, Florida International University, as well as international organizations, government agencies, and professionals. And we've consulted and trained in a number of countries, including China, South Africa, very recently Ghana, the US, Canada, and the UK. And the special consultative status with the United Nations really gives us not only a global platform to share knowledge, but really learn from others and bring best practices back to Israel. And because learning from others and developing partnerships is part of our DNA, everything that we do, everything that we managed to achieve has been done in full partnerships with incredible Israeli NGOs and international NGOs, academia, government ministries, local authorities, and of course, people with disabilities. So along with our core principles of innovation, partnership, nothing about us without us, everything needs to be evidence-based, and scaling, we're really looking at the future and have seriously started looking at impact, and what does impact mean for us and the civil society at large. How do we make sure that everything we develop has the most impact? How do we measure this impact? So it's the most effective, so that we are the most effective as possible to better the lives of people with disabilities. I'm happy to turn over to Dr. Dalova.
Hi. For those of you who are not asleep, I do want to say that I will not talk teeth at all, although we've conducted several studies also in the past that we published in the area of dental care. So it gives me a great pleasure okay, here we go. So then I just do what? That button. Okay. So it gives me great pleasure to be here and have this opportunity to present very shortly Betty Shapiro Research and Evaluation Department, which this summer celebrated 21 years, and believe it or not, I'm the one who founded it, so I was much younger, but remained beautiful, of course, all these years. The fact that 21 years ago, a small NGO, at the time mostly a service organization, realized and thus took the risk of establishing a unit of this sort points to the innovation and leadership of spirit and action. Throughout the years, the department has become part of the DNA of Betty Shapiro, as well as a leading force and a partner for change in the disability arena nationally and internationally. Mostly, it is evidence where impact begins rolling if you have the desire, the skill, and the commitment, which is the profile of Betty Shapiro's professional force. This button. Wow, worked. Okay. So, in terms of its objectives, because it's not very usual that an organization will have a research and evaluation department, we're not a university. So our goals and objectives are to increase the knowledge to better the lives of people with disabilities and their families, to assist strategic decision-making to support Betty Shapiro's mission and social impact, to provide evidence-based support to project programs, services, and innovations, as well as actions for policy change, and to involve people with disabilities and family in the research and evaluation procedures in order to give them the opportunity to express their special knowledge in making the studies more relevant. This is an important thing I'm not going to go into now, but in our department it's a value that became action. So there's no study that we do today that, at least in the scientific committee, we will not have a person with a disability or family or whoever are, I'm putting it this way, the subjects that we're going to study about or with. Throughout the years, tens of studies of evaluations have been done, and as Stephen, thank you for your introduction. We've had more than 100 publications, scientific journals, and I will give you a taste of some of the studies conducted in the last 3 years. I will not give you any findings of any sort. You can either read it or certainly afterwards I will be able. But just to give you really the variety of things that we conduct and the collaborations and partnerships that we do. So, I'm sure something happened. Either the wrong button, let's see. Yeah, the wrong button. Sometimes I do regress really, but here, I got it. Okay, so while the blockade, due to COVID-19, we conducted 3 studies, 2 national and 1 international, in order to learn more about how to provide remote allied health treatment, which was very new to all of us at the time. The study provided significant information to occupational, physical, and speech clinicians, people with disabilities and their families, policymakers. Today, by the way, it is included in some syllabuses in the allied health schools in Israel. So this was something that we addressed very immediately as it came about. Another study is on parental reflective functioning and coping among parents of toddlers with severe developmental disabilities, an early integrative biopsychosocial rehabilitation intervention in daycare facilities. This is a study of emotional therapy in our early intervention rehabilitation center, which examines a model that is not practiced elsewhere. The objective of the study is to provide evidence regarding the importance of emotional therapy in the multidisciplinary model in early intervention. The first stage of the study has been sent to a leading scientific journal for review. The second part is being completed now, and this is in collaboration with Haifa University and Tel Chai Academic College. So this is interesting because this is one aspect of let's say, assessing an intervention. And, okay. And this is a survey, this is a study. One second. Yeah. So therapy is provided for young children with disabilities in early intervention rehabilitation centers and special kindergarten. This is a national survey. Betty Shapiro is a member of a coalition of parents and organizations of children with disability. This study was conducted with the objective to map the needs that are not addressed, as well as those that are addressed for kids at that age, from age 1 year to 6. And the survey will be one of the means of the Coalition Action for Policy Change. Why is this Courtney? Here we are. Okay. So, integration of service dogs for children and adults with physical disability. This was a 3-year study conducted with the collaboration of Little Steps, an organization focusing on children with Duchenne and Becker syndromes, a developmental neurological condition, for Israel's national insurance, Bituach Leumi, to examine the dog's contribution to the quality of life of adults and children with physical disabilities. And by the way, service dogs are something that is increasingly being part of, particularly in post-trauma and so on, but very few studies have been taken, and this is really, to our knowledge, is the only study so far. And now I will share with you a study that I think will particularly interest you. And this is a study that we're conducting now with Tel Aviv University Physical Therapy School, Autonomic Nervous System Polyvagal Theory. This is a pioneering study. And to our knowledge, the first study ever conducted with 2- and 3-year-old children. The theoretical framework of the study is the polyvagal theory of Stephen Porges. Maybe, I assume some of you know it. The study is aimed to characterize adapted work environments of different therapeutic, for different therapeutic purposes for children with cerebral palsy. A central measure is to quantify the physiological autonomic cardiac response, the heart rate variability, to different therapeutic environments during daily routines among children with CP. One important finding is that the changes in the physiological functioning of the children with cerebral palsy can be quantified easily during daily routines. There are very interesting findings in the study, which I will not reveal due to the lack of time, and since it has now been written to a leading scientific journal, and which in no doubt will lead to further research and may be relevant also to dentistry clinics. And finally, what is our coming plans? We are about to embark on a national study on women's health, specifically their checkup attendance to mammographies and gynecological examinations. The study is an outcome of a qualitative study conducted by our women's leadership group with disabilities, which indicated of the unacceptable situation of the lack of accessibility of these services, and that the very negative experiences which prevents them from going to checkups, which results many times, as you know, in illness and in death. And by the way, one of the women in this leadership group went once to a mammography and never again, and she's not with us. And my last slide was thank you, but. So this was a taste, and having a research and evaluation department in an organization certainly keeps us alert, informed, and contributing partners of the collaborative impact for all of us who are striving to better the quality of life of people with disabilities. This is my last word, but I do want to take this opportunity, Steve and Rick, to thank you so much for this day. Truly, I came here, I thought, my God, I'm going to sit with this bunch of dentists, it's going to be boring, it's going what, and I'm at 4 o'clock, what's going to happen? This was fascinating, and Barbie, you too. I've learned a lot, and I wish that all of us will have a good life and make other people's lives much better as well, especially people with disabilities.
I want to introduce you all to Michael. He's a 15-year-old boy on the autism spectrum. Michael is nonverbal and is diagnosed as mid-to-low functioning. As is true for many people on the spectrum, Michael struggles with social interactions like initiating conversations, and he has sensory processing difficulties. So these limitations make it very hard for him to cooperate during dental treatments. And like Michael, there are many children and adults whose disabilities make it difficult for them to receive consistent dental treatment. They may go from one clinic to another, but without success. And why does this happen? Why are people with disabilities so regularly unable to receive the dental treatment they deserve from any clinic in their area? So we must understand that in order to provide effective treatment for people with disabilities, professionals need to undergo a training that includes a basic understanding of common characteristics, unique challenges, and potential coping mechanisms of people with disabilities in treatment settings. And today, educational programs across universities do not provide enough of this information or exposure. And as a result of that, dentists do not feel comfortable enough or that they have enough tools to treat people with disabilities. So this has contributed to a lack of equality in the dental field for people with disabilities. There is a significant lack of dentists who are willing or have the capacity to provide adapted treatment to meet the unique needs of people with disabilities. So parents often have no idea where to turn. In many cases, they have no choice but to take their children to clinics that are very far from where they live, which creates complicated logistics and sometimes even requires them to give up a full day work. Sometimes parents even are too afraid to take their child to clinic based on previous bad experiences or a fear of judgment over the state of the child's dental hygiene. So all these things contribute to a phenomenon where many people with disabilities do not receive any dental treatment at all, and the state of the dental health continues to worsen, often to the point of losing teeth. So some dentists will refer clients with disabilities to be treated under general anesthesia, which is one potential way to overcome these challenges. In 2019, an article was published in the Journal of Dental Anesthesia and Pain, which shared that 50% of people with disabilities were referred to dental treatment under general anesthesia. So what in fact is wrong with that? So the first disadvantage is of course of general anesthesia, is of course the overall health risks associated with general anesthesia. Additionally, here in Israel, the waiting time to receive treatment under general anesthesia can be between 8 to 12 months, precious time in which a client's situation can get much worse and they continue to suffer from serious pain. When we dentists rely on general anesthesia for treatment, we tend to use more aggressive strategies because we have to address the problem all in one sitting, rather than being able to use more conservative treatment with a correct follow-up over time. And from our point of view, the biggest disadvantage of dental treatment under general anesthesia is the lack of education and adjustment to the treatment process for the clients themselves. When a patient receives treatment under general anesthesia, he does not have the opportunity to get used to the treatment process, which means that for all future checkups and treatments, they will continue to need general anesthesia. So when there are children and their parents are in the picture, it is easier to coordinate, but the parents may not always be in the picture. And our goal as health professionals should always be to help our clients as much as possible to feel more independent when it comes to their own health and to develop life health skills. So in this current reality, where there is not enough training in dental schools that would enable dentists to develop the knowledge and the skills required to treat people with disabilities, we are not acting according to the social model of disabilities. Because under this model, we as a society are responsible for the barriers that people with disability face in their daily lives. Our actions as a society are what determine the extent of their exclusion, the extent of their disability. So all of us here today, we are in a position to make the changes needed to create equality for people with disabilities in the dental field. So our vision for creating this equality is that every dentist will receive professional training during their education to treat and to serve clients with disabilities. And this training, it should be part of every dentist education and should be continued through seminars and lectures throughout their internship. Training should include topics such as an overview of various disabilities, general characteristics, dental characteristics, common challenges and behaviors, and of course intervention methods. It also should cover family dynamics and how to work with families, including discussion of legal guardianship, which is very important in understanding how to treat and support people with disabilities. So we believe that this training should be required not just for dentists, but also for all professionals in the clinic, including assistants, hygienists, and receptionists, because all of them play an important role in the treatment process. And that's exactly what we are doing at Bet Izi Shapiro. In addition to treating clients across a range of disabilities, we are also working to develop and share our knowledge and expertise in this area in order to create greater equality across the field. I'm Shalhav Malamud, a dentist for over 20 years and director of the dental clinic at Bet Easy Shapiro. I love what I do, and I believe that in order to create change, we must gain expertise in the field while also sharing the knowledge we acquire along the way. Our dental clinic was established over 30 years ago as a response to the serious lack of dental services available to people with disabilities in the community. The clinic was built on the belief that people with disabilities have the right to receive the same quality of dental treatments as people without disabilities, with a deep understanding of the unique challenges and the needs of people with disabilities and how best to support them. So the clinic treats clients of all ages and across a wide range of disabilities and provides a full spectrum of dental treatments. The clinic is made up of 20 professionals, including receptionists, hygienists, dental assistants, and dentists with specialties in all areas of dentistry. And based on the expertise that we have developed over the years, in 2021 we published a comprehensive intervention model of our adapted dental services. So our working model includes three main components. The first is person-oriented service, a perspective that sees each client as an expert on his own life and believes that they can and should be a full and active partner in the treatment process as much as possible. The person-oriented service requires empathy, honesty, and a complete lack of judgment from professionals. The second component is adapted dental care that removes barriers to treatment in order to minimize anxiety and increase cooperation so we can provide high-quality treatment without the need for general anesthesia. And the third component is multidisciplinary approach. We incorporate a range of disciplines, including occupational therapy, communication, and behavioral analysis in order to support clients in their adjustment to the treatment. So among our various techniques, we use desynthesization, which is based on principles of practical behavior analysis, and adapted communication, such as alternative and augmentative communication for people who are nonverbal. We also adapt the treatment rooms and the dental environment for people with sensory challenges or other similar needs. And we use specially crafted communication cards to demonstrate and explain the sequence of the treatment process so the patients know exactly what to expect. We also use stabilization techniques which help clients to feel safe, supported, and stable. And when we need, we can also incorporate pharmacological aids. So these are some of the tools that enable us to treat people like Michael. In the past, Michael had received some treatments under general anesthesia. When he turned, because it was very hard for him to cooperate, and when he turned 15, our clinic staff and his parents decided together to begin a gradual process of helping him to adjust to the treatment settings so he could start to receive treatment without general anesthesia. So the first session took place in the waiting room. Michael was able to explore the surroundings and get to know the staff, and we got to know him too. Michael learned about the treatment that he would receive through one of our communication cards, outlining the whole process, which really soothed his anxiety. In the second session of gradual exposure, Michael sat successfully in the dental chair and went through the checkup. And over the next 3 sessions, he received cleaning and some preservative treatments that he needed. And since then, Michael comes every 6 months for regular checkups and cleanings. And he no longer requires general anesthesia for his procedures. And like Michael, there are so many of our clients who were before only seen under general anesthesia and now are fully cooperative in their dental treatments and receiving treatments just like any other person. To show Michael adjusting to the suction. But for us at Bet Easy Shapiro, providing treatment through our clinic is not enough. We need to be reaching other dentists and professionals in order to create lasting change. We are working to share our knowledge through our newly published working model, and we also hold a yearly seminar for dental hygienists through Tel Aviv University on creating more accessibility in healthcare services. We also have an ongoing partnership with Tel Aviv University and Hadassah, where we lecture on accessibility in dentistry for dental students in the first and second year, as well as for people studying nursing at the Lev College. But standalone seminars or lectures are not enough to change the system. To do this and to make dental care accessible for people with disabilities, we believe that all dentists should receive training on treating clients with disabilities, starting in dental schools and continuing through internships with regular required learning through seminars and lectures throughout their professional careers. And at Bet Easy Shapiro, we have the knowledge, the tools, and professional framework to help make this vision a reality. We have the capacity to be a source of training and education for dentists in all areas and at all stages. And before I conclude, I want to leave you with an invitation. If you too believe that this change is in our grasp, if you also believe that this vision should be a reality, I invite you to come to speak with me and my colleagues that are here today. Let's work together to create equality in dental care for people with disabilities. It's possible and it's in our hands. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, our last presenter, and certainly not least, is Professor Avi Zini. So in 2021, Professor Zini was elected the new Dean of the School of Dental Medicine of Hebrew University in Hadassah. He served as a medical officer in the Israeli Air Force as a paramedic and dentist. Professor Zini received his Doctor of Dental Medicine degree in 1989 with specialization in public health dentistry. He holds a Master's of Public Health and also a PhD, all awarded from Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Professor Zini was the head of the Community Dentistry Department in Hadassah, in which he worked in collaboration and was the director of the Yad Sarah Geriatric Dental Clinic, which focused on the oral health needs of the geriatric community. Professor Zini was the Associate Dean of the faculty during his term. He headed the school's current accreditation process. Professor Zini also is a researcher and a lecturer in faculty and has published over 145 peer-reviewed articles and is an editorial board member and reviewer in many well-known journals. By emphasizing research, Professor Zini would like to raise the awareness of the oral health dimension and the importance of its treatment among needy populations, among dental staff, as well as among policymakers to bring about an improvement in the quality of life of the population. And now, under Professor Zini's leadership, Hebrew University is now building a center for persons with disability to educate and provide care to our community. Professor Zini.
It looks almost identical to some people put the pointers on it. Where's the
I'm sorry for the delay.
So I actually did the tour at moments, but process. There was no essential link. All I used is that dentist really could.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the delay because I didn't upload the presentation before. First of all, my lecture is split to two sub-lectures, one today and one tomorrow. And first of all, I want to present to you the Hebrew University and the school and the reasons that lead us to establish a new center, a unique hospital and university center for people with disabilities in our school. So let's start with overview and introduction to the Hebrew University and our school. Our agenda will start with the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, then we will move to our school with the history and overview. We will talk about the structure and operation, mission goals and values, educational programs, achievement of the school, and then we will finalize with the building and the future. That will be like a promo for tomorrow day and my lecture in the Hebrew University in Hadassah tomorrow. So let's start with the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. It was founded in 1918 and opened officially in 1925. It is the Israel's premier university as well as the leading research institution. It ranked internationally among the 100 leading universities in the world and first among the Israeli university. It has 6 campuses in all over Israel, 7 faculties and 14 schools, more than 24,000 students, more than 1,000 senior faculty, more than 7,000 patent registered, 8 Nobel Prize winners, and among its founders, we can mention Albert Einstein, Martin Buber, Chaim Nachman Bialik, and Chaim Weizmann. Let's move to the Faculty of Dental Medicine. The need to establish a dental school was known before the establishment of the State of Israel, and I'll give you just a few points during the history that is much larger. In 1945, the Jewish Dental Association in Israel appointed Professor Abraham Cohen from Philadelphia as the first chairman of the Palestine Dental School Committee. In 1947, a general agreement in the Board of Governors of the Hebrew University agreed that a dental school should be established with the operation of the medical school. In 1953, the school was founded and the first class of 15 students attend a temporary dental school, and in 1964 the school was awarded the status of the faculty and Professor Shaki was elected as the first dean until 1969. I want to quote Albert Einstein 3 years before the school was funded. And he says, not only Israel, but the entire Middle East will profit from the creation of a school that will make available to the entire area dentist and scientific technique in the care of the teeth. So, and 3 years after that, the school was funded. So, as I said, the school was founded in 1953 as a joint initiative of the Hebrew University and Hadassah, and the Alpha Omega International Dental Fraternity. The agreement between the Hebrew University, which was founded in 1925 as a research university, and Hadassah Medical Center determined that the preclinical years, the first 3 years of 6 of studies towards a DMD degree are under the general responsibility of the Hebrew University, while the clinical years, the last 3 years, are under the responsibility of the Hadassah Medical Center. Thus, the Faculty of Dental Medicine is comprised of 2 main sectors, the preclinical and the clinical departments. And in here, you can see in this diagram that under the Faculty of Dental Medicine, we have in your left the Basic Science Division. Under that, we have the Institution of Biosciences and Oral Sciences, and they have programs for Master and PhD in Biosciences and Oral Sciences. On the other side, we have the Clinical Division. Under that, we have the Clinical Departments. We have 8 specialty programs under that. We have the DMD program that is under the clinical department and the basic sciences part. And we have the Kabakov Center for Continuing Education. If we are starting with the bioscience, the Institute of Biomedical and Oral Research, we have 15 labs in many basic sciences areas. And regarding our clinical department, we have 8 clinical departments with 8 specialties, and under that we have you can see the heads of the departments that are leading those clinical departments. About numbers, undergraduate students which are part of the 6 years program, DMD program, we have about 420. About 80 are starting the first year. Graduate students in the specialties, in the 8 different specialty programs, where we have 118. Research students for master's degree, we have 49, and for PhD degree, 53. We have also long-term courses with 27 dentists, and dental hygienists and dental assistant students, we have about 72 students. And the mission of the school is to train and educate dental practitioners, research students and specialists in Israel to the highest standards of excellence and ethics in the context of providing comprehensive patient care. The school strives to be at the forefront of dental education, research, and practice, and to lead in these fields regionally and globally. We have 4 items or four items for goals regarding education, patient care, teamwork, and research. I won't enter to the details, but we have a very detailed goals and the way how we can achieve these goals. We also created or developed our core values that are talking about professionalism, excellence, leadership, caring, diversity, and continuous improvement. So if we will talk about the educational program. The program extends over 6 years, as I said, which is divided into 2 main phases supervised by the teaching committee in the school. The first one is the preclinical studies. It's divided into 2 sub-phases. The first one is pre-medical studies within the medical school, is around the first 2 years. And then the preclinical dental studies, which are 1.5 or even less than 1.5 years, integration of clinical into the basic sciences and vice versa. And then after that, we start the dental clinic studies that this year will be started in the 4th year. After 7 weeks, they will start seeing patients. The Hebrew University has commitment to develop cutting-edge research to educate future leaders in all walks of life and to nurture future generation of outstanding scientists and scholars in all fields of learners. The curriculum of our school has been designed to fit the above statement and enable students to become top dental professionals, but research professionals. This is why we give our students opportunity to start. They are starting with the Bachelor in Medical Sciences, and then after 3 years they can take a break for 1 to 3 years and to move to Master or PhD degrees. And we called it a DMD Master DMD or Master PhD program, and then come back to the DMD program. And they can choose not to do that and to go straight to the DMD program after that. Both of these pathways leads to the specialty program. They can then file, after they finish the DMD, they can file to one of the 8 specialties in the school. In 2022, 15 research labs in the institution of biosciences of the school exist, and we have 7 clinical labs that also doing basic sciences and other research. And in this year, 2022, we have 19 DMD and PhD students in the program that combine DMD and the PhD program, and we have 43 students that are doing DMD and master. All graduate students submit at the end of the school, submit a DMD research thesis. Our school identified 3 core professional competencies domains for the graduates general dentists. The first domain is focusing on knowledge base, health promotion and treatment planning. We have 5 competencies this domain. The second domain is oral health care delivery. We have 15 competencies there. And the third one is professionalism and interpersonal skills, and we have 12 competencies in this domain. In our student Phantom Lab, we have about 84 Phantom units, and we add this year also simulators from Simudant, both in the Phantom stages and in the clinical stages, and it starts this year from the 3rd year until the end. Regarding the students' clinic, and you will be able to visit it tomorrow, we took, because of the COVID, we adapt the student clinic to COVID reality, and it looks like that today with glasses between the units. And we introduced treatment with microscopes in the student clinics. We have now from 65 units, 12 of them have microscopes that help the student to learn how to treat with the help of microscopes in the dental clinic and in the student clinic. And every student has to be part of this, it has to be exposed to treatment with microscopes. We have also a digital lab with all the equipment that are needed. We put a lot of emphasis and importance in the excellence in community activity. We have community activity from the second year until almost the sixth one. The sixth year, we are going with the student to kindergarten, to nursery homes, and we also go some years to Alim to make prevention programs to treat or to teach the caregivers how to keep the oral hygiene of the patients there appropriately. We had also reaching out to the community part by treating the Holocaust survivors. It started with the Students' Association. They found the first money to treat the Holocaust survivors, and then we found by the trust of the arrangement of Omen, the continuous of that program that is keeping until today, and it's not only for Holocaust survivors but also for the entire geriatric populations. We also have a program that we took young adults with disabilities. We trained them as a new occupation in dentistry, and some of them, one person you will be able to see tomorrow if you will have a chance to see the sterilization center, and he is working there. And we really want to see the students being exposed to this population, as we talked all day long, and we will continue with that in the future. Regarding our faculty achievement, in June 2011, an international external review committee to review the research activities of our school was invited by Hadassah when Adam was the dean, and the findings of the report concluded that our school would receive a ranking within the top 5 to 10 American dental schools for such a review. In 2021, in the rector report, we were graded in the first place. The school was ranked in the first place. We also started a CODA process for international schools. You know, it's not mandatory for us, but we decided that it's important for us to be part and to be examined by the best process in the world. This is why we were connected with CODA. The first contact with CODA was in July 2014. The process was presented to the school council in March 2017, and an ad hoc steering committee was added for the purpose of self-evaluation of our program. To the 9 school committees existed at that time were added another 7 ad hoc committees to be involved with the writing of the standards, assessment methods, etc. In December 2021, after a lot of work and a few site visits, we got the formal and the final permission to submit an application to get an accreditation to CODA, and I hope that this year we will finalize this process with, not this year, not in 2022, but in 2023, we will finalize the process and we will be accredited by CODA. This is our hope and our prayer. In 2 months, we will have a mock visit, and then we will invite the real final site visit from CODA. If we are talking about excellence, so 3 examples from the student surveys that ranked us in the first place in the university. First, in the satisfaction with the service provided by the school secretariat. The second one is the degree of satisfaction with the contribution of studies to development of skills and the expansion of knowledge. And the third one is teaching student satisfaction survey, both in teacher satisfaction and course satisfaction. In all of these, we ranked the first in the Hebrew University, and we are very proud of that. And this moves us to think about the future. And when you are ranked in the first place in the university, you have the tools to talk to the management of the university to invest in the school. And this is how we convinced the university to add more floors to the building that you will stay tomorrow with during the lectures. We will add 6 floors, but only 4 of them will be finalized. So, and we will talk about it tomorrow in more details. So right now we are investing in the school a lot of money and a lot of resources. We renovate the laboratory floor. One of the laboratories floor, it's about 1,000 square meters. We establish of new research laboratories in the field. First is regeneration of tissue in the dental craniofacial complex. The second one is a big data and precision medicine. The third is the translation, social, cognitive, and affective neuroscience lab. And the fourth is epidemiology and clinical studies labs. All of these are new to the institution of basic science of our school. We renovate the entrance of the lobby, and we introduce of an advanced patient flow system with the help of Hadassah. We build a new suction system for our entire building and double the sterile supply center because of the activity that is going on in the school. We renovate 4 departments already, the departments of oral rehabilitation, the department of pedodontics, periodontics, and orthodontics. And in this day, the orthodontics department was finalized successfully with the help of Stella here. And now we are talking about doubling the building. Why do we want to double the building? So the first one is the national assignment, let's say, to increase the number of dental students that studying in Israel. In Israel, we have about 450 new dentists every year. Only 120 from them are learning in Israel. All the other are Israelis that didn't accept it to our old Tel Aviv school, and they are going normally to West Europe to learn there, and they are coming back to Israel. Of course, it's a national assignment to educate most dental students in our country, and this is one of the reasons to double the building. We are going to increase the number of dental students in the faculty by 25%. We are going to increase the number of researchers and laboratories in the faculty. And most important for me, and because of the opportunity that the university put money to double the building, to establish a new center teaching excellence, research and treatment that will be called the Robert Shatner Oral Health Center for People with Disabilities, with the help of Steve Cass and a lot of advice from Mark Wolf. And I really appreciate all your help receiving the money to help the center. The money is from Shatner and from Henry Schein, and we are so happy that you helped us with to establish such a center, and we will talk about it in more detail tomorrow. And we are also want to establish a center for our health prevention and health promotion among young kids, also in our building, our new building. Now, I don't know if we have a time, or we will, but we will try to. So I have a movie. Can you? Never mind. We will see you tomorrow at the dinner in Marriott Hotel, and I want to thank you for your attention. And it's all depends on the people you work with, and I'm so proud that I have such a good and supporting team in my school, and I want to thank them today, and I will repeat it tomorrow. It's all dependent on people. Thank you.
Thank you, Avi. Now I'd like to welcome back to the stage Steve, Mark, and Kelman for our call to action. Come on up.
I just got orders to inspire you. You know, speaking at the conclusion of an 8-hour day, and not to mention all of our guests that have flown from the United States who are now in deep sleep deprivation, inspiring is not an easy thing to go do. This has just been a wonderful series of presentations today, and the notes I've taken on what's happening here in Israel will be taken and utilized at Penn. The notes that I've taken as I look at this event and vitality and the things that are done in different countries are just so important to that growth. And that was the exact reason why PAOH decided that it was important to come to Shalva to hold a meeting to bring new information to us that allows us to expand on what other people are already doing. I personally want to thank everybody who presented and all those who attended in the process. There's so much to do. So little time to do it in. These global cooperations are really a method of speeding us to the point. So I thank everybody who has traveled far and near again, and appreciate, and hope you have a wonderful sleep, because we're going to do rerun another series of informative items tomorrow. And I thank the people here at Shalva for having sponsored us. By all means, all of those except Courtney who helped organize this, because she was just so 5 minutes, you know, get inside the room. But we all need one of those people to lead the way. This took a lot of organizing. It's just about 3 years in the making. No, it is 3 years in the making. And we're just so happy that this has come off in the fashion that it has. Thank you, Kevin, for hosting us.
For me, it's been most informative. It's also been most humbling. I felt during the day that I'm in the presence of giants, listening to Rick. I won't go through whom, of course, Mark and Steve in the morning. It was like, I was very emotional listening to this and just seeing how people of great stature have dedicated themselves medically to, you know, a people with disabilities, and it's really, really wonderful to be in your company. I want to thank each of you, and I want to just share, for those of us who are here, there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is there aren't very many people left. The good news is we prepared dinner for a heck of a lot more. And Shalva is considered the cafe, one of the best Italian cafes in the city. So you're in for an amazing, amazing meal with wine. We'll wake you up, give you more coffee, whatever you need. Also, we're going to have a quick tour. I know you've seen the videos and you think you've seen it all, but it'll be a quick tour, and you'll be able to get a better perception of the size and the scope and the facilities that you'll appreciate. And I've actually prepared a special treat which wasn't on the menu, and that is I asked my son Yossi, who's blind, deaf, and in a wheelchair, and known here in Israel as the Helen Keller of Israel. I'm not making any comparisons, just the name, because he had a similar breakthrough. But he's here, and you'll meet him. And finally, the Shalva Band, who are playing for you this evening, in 2019, before COVID, played for 200 million at Eurovision. And you guys are going to have a private viewing like none other. I mean, it's, you know, I don't know, you're going to be able to see them and enjoy them. But you'll, as tired as you may be now, you'll come back to life, because they're totally extraordinary, and it's really quite an experience. So I'll let others say when the timing of the little tour will be. And of course, one of the very important things I hope you'll see is that you'll go on the quick tour, and the good news, I won't be leading it, so it will be quick. And you will see the Henry Schein Clinic, you know, for oral therapy. And I think it's important that you see what this young man has done and what we do here every day. So I look forward to welcoming you back again, staying in touch, and may you enjoy tomorrow and enjoy your visit to Israel.
I'm going to be very brief because the day has been long but very valuable and insightful. It's wonderful to hear so much progress being made, but I asked a very dear friend, where are we in the landscape of, if we were a horse race, are we in the barn? Are we walking to the track? Are we on the track? Are we in the gate? Are we running the race? And someone very insightful suggested that we're on the track walking to the gate. What I'm trying to get to is we have a long way to go. The Dean panel that was earlier brought up a number of issues, and the parallel or the correlation of that to the following issue. If we needed 57 million implants installed for a population, how long would it take to fix? 58 million people needed implants. It would probably take less than a year for the capacity to expand to serve the market. We have 56 million individuals with disability, and we have to move forward. So, in my opinion, I have this, those of you who heard me speak, I have this phrase called AIDA, A-I-D-A. It stands for awareness, interest, development, and action. And call to action is what PAOH was intended to do. We're growing in size. As you heard, we are focusing on building the voice of the patient and caregiver population, which will have an influence on awareness and advocacy and putting pressure on government agencies to fund at appropriate reimbursement rates, for schools to create curricula that can be modified per institution, and most importantly, for the dental community and the dental team to be trained, educated in working with and serving this at-risk population. So I think we're building awareness. Some people are already involved and interested, and others are developing real plans at schools and in building this curriculum. From an action point of view, we believe that in the next 2 to 3 years, there will be legislation introduced, there will be programs and policies that are going to be created, working with AADMD, with the DIA, with organizations for-profit and not-for-profit. We're going to create a collaborative that communicates with each other and communicates to the various audiences that we need to reach to make the case for why this population needs their oral health now. Thank you all. Have a great day. Thank you to all the teams that put this together.
Thank you, Steve, Mark, and Kelman. So just some quick details for the rest of our night. So at 6 o'clock, we're going to start the tour of Shalva. If everyone wants to meet under the butterflies by the reception desk. And when you exit now, we're going to be doing some hors d'oeuvres and things like that. Like I said, so 6 o'clock, and then we're going to come back in here, and the Shalva band is going to go on at 7 p.m., which is going to be amazing. And then we're going to go into dinner, and we have an incredible guest speaker, Moran Samuels. She's a gold medal Paralympian, and so we will be hearing from her as well. So starting hors d'oeuvres, tours, dinner, great keynote. Huh? Yeah, 20, yeah.